Pokemon X and Y brought in a whole plethora of new features to the Pokemon games. Now that Omega Sapphire and Alpha Ruby, wait, just kidding, Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby have been announced, the question arises, what of these new features are going to be carried over? I mean, are we going to have the old experience share, the wonder trades, and even being able to EV train our Pokemon in this new method, or are we going to revert back to the old ways of Ruby and Sapphire? But the biggest question for me, at least, is the Mega Evolutions. Are they going to be added to the new game, and are new Pokemon going to have Mega Evolutions from Gen 3? Gen 3 was really the height of my Pokemon career, and I developed pretty strong bonds with a lot of these Pokemon. It's what I remember from my childhood memories the most. But then the question pops up, who gets the Mega Evolutions? And that's why I compiled my list of the top 5 Pokemon that I want to see Mega Evolve. But right off the bat, before we get into the list, I want to eliminate some, because I know a lot of other people have been making these lists, so my list is not going to include Metagross, Aggron, Salamence, Rayquaza, Regirock, Regice, Registeel, Sceptile, and Swampert. I eliminated all those guys for different reasons, but I really just wanted to make my list a little bit more exciting. I mean, those are all the typical common picks that everyone's going to have, so I decided to spice mine up a little bit and use some more uncommon Pokemon, since again, I really love a lot of these Pokemon in this gen. So with that, let's get right into the list. Torkoal is a turtle that lives in the mountains. He adds coal to his shell to burn it down and generate more energy for him, and then he blows out the steam and sput, I don't know, whatever it's called, and he blows that out to, scare away his foes and try and make a quick escape. He's a very peaceful Pokemon from what I understand in his Pokédex descriptions, and just all around seems like a nice, cuddly Pokemon. I mean, he's a turtle. Who doesn't love turtles? I remember as a kid watching Torkoal and finding him in the anime just being such a cool Pokemon. Even in the games, he has a really cool model. Despite all this, he sucks. He's a really crappy Pokemon as far as competitive battling goes. He doesn't have that good of stats, and I feel like that's going to be the story of a lot of Pokemon on my list, as they're cool Pokemon that just don't have the potential to be used wisely in competitive battling. But if they get a Mega Evolution, that could change everything. That's why I would love to see Torkoal get a Mega Evolution. One, he's a turtle, so it opens up a whole ton of possibilities, adding cool armors to his shell, adding all kinds of different things to his face and stuff, and I don't know, I just really would love to see him get a Mega Evolution. Flygon, in my opinion, is a disgrace to the Dragon Pokemon name. If you watched my last video, I talked about the top 3 Dragon Pokemon in Pixelmon right now, and guess who wasn't on that list? Flygon. Because he sucks. Well, let's take that back for a second. He doesn't suck necessarily, but compared to all the other Dragon Pokemon, he's easily outmatched and easily beaten. This is why I think Flygon's way more deserving than any other Dragon Pokemon, especially Salamence in this generation, of a Mega Evolution. Because he's not a bad Pokemon necessarily, he's just, again, outmatched by other Dragon types. If he could get that awesome Mega Evolution, boosting his stats a little bit, maybe giving him, some cool new ability, it would all around make Flygon much more viable, and I think we would see a lot more use out of Flygon. Plus, he looks kind of cute and cuddly. Granted, maybe Dragonite is a little bit more friendly looking, but still, Flygon is the desert spirit, and he will always hold a special place in my heart. Tropius is an awesome Pokemon. He's essentially a dinosaur plant. You know how plants are alive, like trees are alive, and all kinds of that stuff? That's what Tropius is, except mixed with a dinosaur. The leaves on his back are how he flies, and they're legitimate leaves, they can live, and then on his chin he grows little banana-like fruits that can be picked and grow twice a year. If that's not incentive enough to like Tropius, the last part should be. Tropius grows stronger from sunlight. So what that means is the Megastone could essentially be some sort of sun thing or whatever you want it to be, and all you have to do to make Tropius' Mega Evolution is give him a few more leaves on his back and a few more fruits on his chin, and maybe, grow out, make him look a little bit bigger and stronger in some areas because, sun's good for the bones and stuff, and there you go, you got a Mega Dinosaur with fruit hanging off his back. How is that not awesome? I mean, I love that idea. I think everyone has a little soft spot for dinosaurs. I know I do. So this is going to be the part of the video where I think a lot of people are going to question my ideology, or just the way, I don't know, a lot of people might disagree with this. But I think on the cover of Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby, that's a Mega Groudon and a Mega Kyogre. I know a lot of people may disagree with this, but I don't know, I just think that's the way it is. There's no one there to prove me wrong, no one there to prove me right. I know their stats are already really good, but I just feel like that could be a pretty cool selling point for the games, and all around, legendary Pokemon are up. Making them a little bit more up doesn't hurt too much, I don't think. Will this mean there may also be a Mega Rayquaza? Maybe. That would be cool, but hey, I don't know. I kind of like the idea of Kyogre and Groudon getting Mega Evolutions first, because, I don't know, I feel like they're kind of overlooked as far as legendary Pokemon go. So I'm sure this is probably the biggest surprise on my list, but yes, Wailord is the #1 Pokemon I want to see with the Mega Evolution. One, because it'd be freaking hilarious. I mean, basically all the Mega Evolutions thus far have just, they've gotten bigger. Wailord right now is already, he's 50 feet long, or 50 feet high, and weighs about 900 pounds. He has a really low catch rate, but he also has some pretty good moves. If you look at his stats, he actually does have a pretty high defense, which is extremely useful. He's, like, in my opinion, on the cusp of being one of those super awesome Pokemon for defensive battling, but at the same time, he doesn't make it. There's other Pokemon that could replace him. With the Mega Evolution, he could really change the game and really change the playing field, making him a viable option as far as defensive blocks go and just walls in general. That's why I want Wailord to see him. I mean, plus, he's giant. I mean, it's being the biggest Pokemon in a game series is, you know, awesome. So that's why I want to see him. I know it's kind of comical and kind of a funny number one, but hey, Wailord's awesome. He always has a special place in my heart, especially surfing on him. That is just freaking out. You just gotta imagine, you're taking out boats, you're taking out islands. He is massive. And then imagine a Mega Wailord. Damn. Thanks for watching. I do hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you all next time.